Fluctuation of creation. Chapter 1. Quantum fluctuation creating the singularity. Nothing but itself nay exists in a void, but this nothingness would soon be destroyed. Then a fluctuation from something unknown bestowed a spark which existed alone. In a void with no time or space, the spark sat strangely in one place. Inside this spark something stirred, as boundless energy inside transferred. Suddenly this seed of chaos abound shifted into something so profound, because all of the contents inside became too much for the area supplied. Chapter 2. The Big Bang. The spark then burst with violent force. Nearly infinite energy was released from the source. Then they spread out at such unreal speed, creating space as the energies did proceed. Countless energy of every unimaginable kind reacted with each other to attract, repel, or combine. The differences in their frequency of vibrations was the catalyst for some remarkable creations. Chapter 3. Creation of quarks and the strong nuclear force. Some energies attracted and became new motes, which all vibrated with generally similar notes. Some primal energy would react with these, allowing them to hold together with ease. Chapter 4. Creation of electrons, protons, and electromagnetism. Following the patterns of their former identities, they synchronized to again create new entities. These had a signature as they got more intricate, which allowed interactions with each similar composite. Another primal energy reacted with these to meld, which could keep them spaced, yet together they held. Chapter 5. Creation of atoms. These new compounds were sure to amaze. They'd sometimes connect, starting a new phase. They started to appear all over this new space. They sometimes differed, but not in the general case. The most common was hydrogen, as it's the most bare. More complex was helium, thus making it more rare. Because they both were the simplest formations, they're the most abundant of all the atomic creations. Chapter 6. Gravity. Some other energies were transferred or emitted by interaction or presence of the particles permitted. Atoms' frequencies caused each other to attract, and as they got closer, their vibrations would interact. The frequency would merge, thus strengthening the force of pulling to each other. This was gravity, of course. Chapter 7. Heat. There is a single energy that's the most important of all. Without it, everything would come to a permanent stall. When energy and atoms react in a certain way, their vibrations can conflict, causing a new array. The resulting energy needs itself to be sustained, and the lack thereof will ensure it's instantly drained. Luckily for us, the energy inside that first spark was so dense that the heat was enough to make its mark. The spark was hotter than anything we'll ever know, so massive heat was spread into space right after the blow. This initial superheated space right around the source played a role in creating quarks and such to run their course. Chapter 8. Stars. Everything forementioned opened doors of possibility, all in the hands of chance through chaotic probability. Atoms started to gravitate into several massive clouds, where gravity was great, drawing in yet more crowds. This could cause the clouds to grow but still contract, which sometimes could let some atoms make a pact. This is when and where our first molecules were born. But that was just the start, as they had much more to adorn. Sometimes the gravity of a cloud would become so great that everything would collapse into the sources of weight. This violent collapse would spawn a massive heat, allowing some of the hydrogen to undergo an amazing feat. Hydrogen would coalesce, and if the conditions were right, all that heat from the collapse would cause it to ignite. The resulting object was so ominous and luminous, not to mention hot and immensely voluminous. The phenomenon made a star with the most important role to fuse atoms together. Creating new ones was its goal. Chapter 9. Planets and solar systems. Another amazing result of such a collapsing cloud. A star is just one of the things that can be endowed. The contraction can cause a reaction of power so great. The residual energy spins so fast a disk it does create. This disk will quickly spin around its great mother star, and the result will amaze, but it's not short of bizarre. It spins and gathers molecules and atoms in its orbit. Then these cluster up and become a planet or a moon. And so this star will have its own solar system soon. Chapter 10. Epilogue. Over many billions of years, these systems did continue, creating galaxies housing many stars they did accrue. The ineffable size of the universe as we know today is so massive that it would seem impossible to convey. A beauteous thing that never ceases to ring wonder in your mind. Through chaos and peace, we have a lease on earth for mankind.